you know, my diet's the same. I still drink wine and beer, and I don't drink a lot of it, but anyway, and I used to take ibuprofen too, perhaps several times a day, especially if I were going to play golf. And since doing the sheet, I have not taken any ibuprofen.
That is awesome.
Now this morning we had a rain. It's been super dry around here, and we did have some rain last night, and I could feel a little bit, you know, I felt a little bit different because of the moisture, but still just not even close to what it was before.
Because when the weather changes, I know a lot of people who have any kind of an arthritic condition or some kind of a joint condition where there's inflammation, they kind of feel pain like that, and so that's what you're talking about. That you kind of notice that when the weather changes or it gets cooler or something like that, or there's more humidity.
Yeah, humidity does it for arthritis really bad.
Right.
Actually, for me too, I've got a bit of arthritis, nothing like he's got.
So again, I did realize a little difference, a little more feeling, but I mean, still, it's just nothing at all compared to what it was before. So I am definitely sold on this.
So what we think is that unless you want to take off your shoes and socks and run around in the grass all day, every day, if you don't want to do that, get an earthing sheet. Same thing.
Well, I definitely hear that, and that's why I wanted you to be able to share this, because it was just neat hearing the changes that you had experienced, and I know that it wasn't motivated by trying to make me feel good about being involved with earthing, because I would guess that you had some skepticism when you had first heard about it.
There was
really
an enormous amount of skepticism. And again, you know, I would never buy a product like this, because to me, it just kind of seems like a lot of hokey pokey.
Right.
And
now we will.
And now I'm going to insist that my sister gets one. And again, I have several friends. I've got an old cowboy friend that lives up where we used to live. And of course, you can imagine how he feels about something, you know, with this grounding, you know. I mean, he has to roll his eyes. But if he has any experience like mine, you know, he'll be a believer, yeah. So I'm really curious.
Very hardworking farmers and ranchers. Well, they have cows and the whole bit, so I think this would be great for them.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely will be happy to hear how their experience is too once they decide to go ahead and try it out. But I'm so happy to hear all these good things, and that is what I wanted other people to know about. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about it, or do you feel like we've covered pretty much the basics of it?
For now, we've pretty well covered everything. Again, I can't say enough. There aren't enough accolades to well, really to describe how much better I do feel. Again, I hope everybody experiences the difference, you know, the benefits that I have. But I'm a true believer.
Well, I hope everybody does as well. And did you want to say something finishing up here?
No, I just think that if we can get all of our loved ones on this, especially the ones that are sick and having problems anyway, that it'll take a little bit of that away.
I hear that, yep, definitely. Kind of take at least a little bit of the edge of pain or whatever they're experiencing now, and maybe help them to just feel a little better in general, if nothing else.
And I'm anxious too to my next visit with the cardiologist to tell him about this. I'm anxious to get his reaction, and because, well, the last time I was in for a visit, you know, I had what's called a stress test, and you know, put on a treadmill, and he had to do he had to put a blood pressure sleeve on, and he was commenting on my elbows, and And I was saying how, yes, they're sore, and again, it wasn't killing me when I was straightening things out.
Right.
But I'm really anxious to see what he says too about this, because I feel perhaps what this does is medically I can't attest to anything, but in terms of what it's doing. But I understand that it kind of breaks down the coagulation, you know, the thins the blood a little bit,
Right.
and makes it flow better. And that's really what my arthritis was, and stiffness was some of which was just the circulation wasn't really good. So again, I feel that circulation is fantastic, and again, I just feel just 1,000 times better. So.
Wow, well that's awesome, and I'm so happy to hear this testimonial, and I'm glad everybody else is going to be able to hear about this too. So thank you, Uncle Jim and Aunt Carol, for sharing, and we'll go ahead and close this off.
Okay.
That was the Organic Adventure Show and Natural Living Reviews, and I hope you enjoyed this testimonial about earthing.